Okay. Fine. Good morning, everyone. Good morning to all of you. Yes, good morning. Can you tell me what was the last point? Hmm? What was that? Electric field due to infinitely charged cylinder, right? Hmm? Electric field due to infinitely charged large cylinder. Okay. Hmm? Hmm. All right. We'll discuss that thing one more time. Hmm? We will discuss the same thing one more time. Fine. Now, just tell me, are the voice and screen clear? All okay? Just tell me once. Are the voice and screen clear? Yes, all okay? Okay, good. Fine, fine, fine. Okay. All right. So, let me write that thing again. Let's say we have a conductor. Now we know charge cannot reside inside conductor. It is always on the surface of the conductor. Why? Because charges are charges being of same nature, they will try to repel each other and they will try to maximize distance between them. So inside conductor the charges cannot reside, by repulsion they will come on the surface. Okay, fine. All right. So we have one infinitely long charged cylinder. Certainly the charge is going to be on the surface. Certainly the charge is going to be on the surface of the cylinder, but still you can use the concept of charge per unit length. That is also okay. No issue at all. So let's say at this point we want to find out electric field intensity. So draw a imaginary sphere, sorry, imaginary cylinder. Draw a imaginary cylinder, Gaussian cylinder, having radius equal to small r, that is distance of given point. Consider a very small area. See how the area is drawn. It's 3D, right? Here you have the area vector ds bar as well as the electric field vector away from the positive system. The system is positively charged, infinitely long. So only this component, horizontal component of the electric field will exist. No vertical components will exist. Okay. Only the horizontal components will exist. Okay. Perpendicular to the axis component will exist. Fine. Then what we did is this. What we did is this. We use the Gauss theorem. What is that? Closed integral E bar dot ds bar is equal to 1 upon epsilon 0 times the charge enclosed inside the Gaussian surface. Okay, sir. Now, the Gaussian surface can be split into three parts. One is the upper flat surface, upper circular surface, lower circular surface, and third is the curved surface. Third is the curved surface. Okay, fine. For the upper surface, electric field is of course at each and every point is electric field is away from the axis. So for any area ds, for any surface area ds in this region, okay, upper surface, angle between electric field and the area vector ds bar is going to be 90 degree. The same is true for this. Electric field is like this, area vector is like this. For the circular faces, angle between electric field and area vector is going to be equal to 90°. And for the curved surface, angle between area vector as well as electric field, that angle is 0°. Fine. So we can split this closed integral into three open integrals. First is on the first circular face, second circular face, and the curved circular face. Sorry, curved surface. First circular face, E into ds into cos 90 plus second circular face, E into ds into cos 90. Again, for all the area ds, all the areas, small areas ds on the second surface, angle theta is 90°, plus curved surface, E into ds into cos 0. For all such ds which are on the curved surface, angle between electric field and area vector is 0°. This should be equal to 1 upon epsilon 0 times charge enclosed, 1 upon epsilon 0 times charge enclosed. Cos 0 is plus 1. Electric field is constant by symmetry. Sorry, first of all this answer is going to be 0. Then this cos 90 is 0, 0 into anything 0, 0 into anything 0. This term 0, this term 0, 0 into anything 0, 0 into anything 0, integration 0, 0, integration 0, 0, cos 0, 1, E constant, constant out of integration, integration ds over curved surface. Only curved surface area is to be considered now. Only curved surface area is to be considered now, is equal to 1 upon epsilon 0 times the charge enclosed. 1 upon epsilon 0 times the charge enclosed. What is the charge enclosed? Let us assume the length of the Gaussian cylinder is L. So corresponding cylinder L you have to consider or imagine inside as well. Okay. Now you can have the concept of either charge per unit area or charge per unit length. Okay. If you have a concept of charge per unit length, then what you can do? Charge enclosed is equal to enclosed length into charge per unit length into enclosed length. Enclosed charge is equal to charge per unit length into enclosed length. What is the enclosed length? Enclosed length is L. So either this substitution can be there, or charge enclosed can also be written like this: charge per unit area into enclosed area. Let's say on the surface of this cylinder, charge per unit area is sigma, charge per unit area is sigma into enclosed area. To find out enclosed area, you have to find out area, you have to find out this curved surface area, because charge is distributed on the curved surface area. So charge per unit area into the curved surface area. To find out curved surface area, find out the circumference multiplied by length. So 2 pi r into length L, but that r must be capital R into L. Either you can replace charge per unit length by lambda into L, or by this. In both the cases, L is going to get cancelled. Okay, how? Let's understand. There are two possibilities now. What are those two possibilities? E. What is integration of area over curved surface? Now this curved surface is the Gaussian surface. This curved surface is a Gaussian surface. So for that you have to write the curved surface area of Gaussian cylinder. So for that you will consider this small r. What is the curved surface area? 2 pi small r into L. So 2 pi small r into L is equal to 1 upon epsilon 0 times the charge enclosed. Charge enclosed can either be written as lambda into L, okay, or what is the second possibility? It can also be written as sigma into 2 pi r into L, charge per unit area into enclosed area. So this is the enclosed area. This curved surface is going to be the enclosed area. So that if you want to use the concept of charge per unit area, that is also appropriate, no problem at all. Next, here we cancel this L and we got the answer as E is equal to 1 upon 2 pi r, this 2 pi r on the right hand side, into lambda upon epsilon 0, a small rearrangement, 1 upon 4 pi epsilon 0 into 2 lambda upon r. This 2 and this 4 will become 2. This 2 and this 4 will become 2. So 2 pi. R and epsilon positions interchange. R and epsilon positions interchange. This is electric field intensity outside. Okay. Now, if we use charge enclosed is equal to charge per unit area into enclosed area, which is equal to 2 pi r into L, then the same step will become like this. If you are using the concept of charge per unit length, if you are using the concept of charge per unit area, then electric field into curved surface area of Gaussian surface is 2 pi into small r into L, no change in that. Now charge enclosed upon epsilon 0, right? Charge enclosed upon epsilon 0. Here, what is the charge enclosed? Charge per unit area into the enclosed area. To find out enclosed area, you have to take this capital R, 2 pi r into the L divided by epsilon 0. Still you will find that L gets cancelled, and now you will have the same for almost similar formula. E is equal to this 2 pi r in the denominator this 2 pi r in the denominator, okay, this 2 pi r in the denominator, sigma into 2 pi r, sigma into 2 pi r upon epsilon 0. You can write it like this. Here also you can observe the electric field is inversely proportional to r. Here also you can find out the electric field outside the cylinder is proportional to 1 upon r, or inversely proportional to r. Same thing you will ultimately realize. Reply me in the chat box, clear and written. Write it down and then let me know.